Love letter comes from Pakistan like this one. We want Pegasus for one day. We request Mr. Doval, the NSA, to give us Pegasus for 24 hours. We'll expose this duet going on, the jugalbandi going on between Pakistan and BJP.
नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस
ये कौन है ना?
ख्वाजा आसिफ डिफेंस
ये कौन है?
पाकिस्तान।
तब पाकिस्तान को हमारे से क्या लेना देना ना? हम तो पाकिस्तान का हिस्सा है ही नहीं। वो अपना मुल्क संभाले ना, हमें अपना संभालने दीजिए। उनका नाम हमारे इलेक्शनों में दखल देना या हमारी इलेक्शन पे टिप्पणी करना, मुझे नहीं लगता ये मुनासिब बात है। वो अपनी जमहूरियत को बचाएं, हम अपनी जमहूरियत में हिस्सा ले रहे हैं।
पाकिस्तान का बयान जो दिया गया, हम उस बयान को हम खंडन कर रहे हैं, हम पूरा खंडन कर रहे हैं। पाकिस्तान को कोई अधिकार नहीं है भारत का इंटरनल इश्यू पर बात करने का। वो अपना पाकिस्तान के अंदर जो आज स्थिति है उसको संभाल लेना, पहला भारत के बारे में बोलने का कोई अधिकार नहीं है। और मैं भारत की जनता से मैं अनुरोध करना चाहता हूं, लगातार भारतीय जनता पार्टी कांग्रेस के बारे में, नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस के बारे में बता रहे हैं। आज डिफेंस मिनिस्टर, पाकिस्तान के डिफेंस मिनिस्टर के स्टेटमेंट के आधार पर हम एक ही पेज पे है, हमारा सोच एक ही है। कांग्रेस पार्टी का, नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस का, पाकिस्तान का सोच एक ही है, हमारा एक ही लाइन पे है। जो आर्टिकल धारा 370 हटाने के विषय पर भी हो, 35A के विषय पर भी हो, आतंकवाद के विषय पर भी हो, पाकिस्तान से LOC ट्रेड के विषय पर भी हो, पाकिस्तान का से बातचीत करने के विषय पर भी हो, हम पहले से बता चुके हैं। फिर एक बात, आज इलेक्शन से पहले जानबूझकर पाकिस्तान ये स्टेटमेंट दे रहे, भारत के अंदर लोगों को रिलीजियस के नाम पर डिवाइड करने के लिए पाकिस्तान, कांग्रेस पार्टी, नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस प्रयास करते हैं। हम जम्मू कश्मीर जनता से, भारत के जनता से अनुरोध करना चाहता हूं, जो धारा 370 हटाने के बाद डॉक्टर बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर का कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन जम्मू कश्मीर में लागू हुआ है। इस जम्मू कश्मीर का जो भारत का संविधान जो आज इम्प्लीमेंट हो रहे, उसको वापस लेने के लिए जो रिजर्वेशंस गरीब लोगों को दिया गया, जम्मू कश्मीर जनता को जो अधिकार दिया गया, भारत के संविधान के द्वारा जो अधिकार मिला है, उस अधिकारियों को, उस रिजर्वेशंस को निकालना चाहते हैं कांग्रेस पार्टी, नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस। इसीलिए जो जम्मू कश्मीर जनता से मैं अनुरोध करना चाहता हूं, जो शांति है आज, जो विकास का रास्ता पर जम्मू कश्मीर बढ़ रहे, जो अधिकार मिला है, जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एक्टिविटी बढ़ गए, जो वेलफेयर एक्टिविटी बढ़ रहे, गांव से लेके जम्मू तक, गांव से लेके श्रीनगर तक जो विकास हो रहा है, विकास को आगे ले जाना चाहिए। इसके लिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी को नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में आशीर्वाद देना चाहिए।
Tejinder, my colleague now joining us, getting us more perspective on this. Tejinder, it's not the first time that Pakistan has meddled in India's affairs vis-a-vis Kashmir is concerned. Even when Article 370 was abrogated 5 years ago, Pakistan had opinions about it when it was none of their business. This is also not the first time that Congress has quoted, Pakistan has quoted Congress leaders or NC leaders about comments that were made here.
You see, Pakistan continues to meddle in India's internal affair. If you remember, just a couple of days ago, the Pakistan Army Chief, for the first time, a sitting Army Chief had accepted their role in the Kargil war, wherein he accepted that it was the Pakistani army which occupied the heights in Kargil. So, Pakistan continues to meddle in India's affair since 1947, and Pakistan has a policy, a stated policy to bleed India with 1,000 cuts. And we know that Pakistan continues to send in terrorists into the Indian side. Pakistan has been raising the issue of the so-called issue of Kashmir at multiple international platforms, whereas the government of India has made it amply clear through the resolution in the parliament that only outstanding dispute with Pakistan is how to reclaim the Pakistan occupied Kashmir, which is part of India, which is an integral part of India. But today, having said so, you see, ever since Article 370, which was abrogated by the Parliament of India, the Pakistan has been raising up this issue. Today, Pakistan came on record to say that it stands with National Conference and Congress alliance, wherein it supports the restoration of Article 370. Why Pakistan supports a restoration of Article 370? Today, Prime Minister, during his speech in Qatar, elaborated on that. He said that Pakistan wants terrorism back. If Article 370 is restored, there would be terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir, there would be bloodshed in Jammu and Kashmir, there would be everyday stone pelting. You see, ever since Article 370 was abrogated, Kashmir Valley has seen a relative peace. You see, there has been no stone pelting. The number of security forces personnel killed in terror attack, the number has come down by more than 80%. So Kashmir, there has been not a single day when strike calls were given, but given the fact that prior to 2019, August 5, 2019, every day there used to be held strikes, stone peltings were common, people were getting killed. So this is somewhat Pakistan wants the pre-2019 situation, wherein because you see the BJP government from day one, the BJP, even the Jang Sangh has been saying that Article 370 promoted separatism in Jammu and Kashmir. Article 370 was responsible for terrorism, and also you see when Article 370 was in place, there were few political parties which used to reap all the benefits, but not the common people in Kashmir. The money which used to come to Kashmir in the Panchayati Raj Act, as Panchayati Raj Act was not implemented because of Article 370, huge amount of money used to get lapsed and returned to the finance ministry, and people at the grassroots level, they were deprived of all those benefits. But now that Article 370 has been revoked, but you see, after Pakistan openly supporting the NC and Congress's agenda. You see, though the Congress has right now, they haven't said anything about their stand on Article 370, but yes, clearly the National Conference has maintained in its manifesto that if voted to power, they would ensure that Article 370 is brought back, knowing very well that it is not the prerogative of the State Assembly to bring Article 370 back. If anything has to come back, it has to come back through Parliament, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi making it amply clear that Article 370 is done and dusted, it will never come back. Yes.
Absolutely. The politics of it is on one side. We had one phase of the three-phase polling conclude yesterday. There are two more phases to go. The BJP, of course, is using this as ammunition to slam all parties involved, including the PDP. But what is this what is the impact of this going to be on ground for the other two phases in terms of, is this something that is on the minds of the voters when they cast their ballot? If you see the voters in Jammu and Kashmir, Article 370 is no longer a big issue for the people. The people who have come to vote, we have been speaking to the people when they came for voting in the first phase, which concluded the other day. The people are saying that they want development, they want long-lasting peace, they want employment, and they want to eradicate the menace of drugs. People here, they want an elected representative who could represent them in the power corridor. So people in Jammu and Kashmir, for them, Article 370 is not a big deal. But yes, with Pakistan coming in support of NC Congress alliance, it is going to hamper a bit NC Congress perspective in Jammu region, because people in Jammu region who were not yet decided whether they want to support Congress or NC alliance, they would have to rethink about them supporting the NC Congress alliance after Pakistan has openly come in support for their manifesto. But in Kashmir Valley, people in Kashmir, they won't get affected. The voters in Kashmir Valley won't get affected with what the statement of Pakistan has been, because the people in Kashmir, they are the worst sufferers of 30 long years of terrorism. They have seen bloodshed, they have seen violence, their children were unable to go to school. But now for the past 5 years, the people of Kashmir Valley who have had a sigh of relief, and this was evident from the fact that today thousands of people from all across the Kashmir Valley came to attend Prime Minister Narendra Modi's rally, which was an unprecedented thing to see, that Prime Minister holding a rally in the heart of Srinagar city, and people from down north to Uri, from down south, from down south, Anantnag, Pulwama,
from Uri, people from different parts of Kashmir Valley coming in large number to attend Prime Minister rally. So this type of rush was unprecedented. Even I am told that not only people occupied the stadium, but large number of people were standing outside. So this was something which people of Jammu and Kashmir, especially Kashmir Valley, are trying to show to the Prime Minister, to the government of India, that they stand with the decision of the abrogation of Article 370. Yes.
And the biggest point of it all is that Pakistan has no business meddling in India's affairs. It has no rights to have any opinion as far as abrogation of Article 370 is concerned. But the comments that have been made by the Congress and the National Conference seem to only be emboldening our pesky neighbour. But for the moment, Tejinder, thank you so much for getting us the latest on that front. Political reactions, meanwhile, trickling in thick and fast. Let's listen in.
रवनीत जी, चुनाव का माहौल है और जम्मू कश्मीर में चुनाव चल रहा है। पाकिस्तान के रक्षा मंत्री कह रहे हैं कि धारा 370 पे जो पाकिस्तान की राय है वही कांग्रेस और नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस अलायंस की भी है। वहां के डिफेंस मिनिस्टर कैसे देखते हैं इस बयान को?
देखा ना, फिर मैं तो लगातार क्या कह रहा हूं, तो फिर खड़गे साहब गुस्से हो जाते हैं, उनको गुस्सा आता है, क्योंकि उनकी जिम्मेवारी है, उनका गांधी फैमिली, उनका वंश, उसको किस तरीके से आगे बढ़ाना है, किस तरीके से उसे सेफ गार्ड करके रखना है। अब देखो, यही बात जो अलायंस पार्टनर है एनसी और कांग्रेस, वो यही कह रहे हैं भी 370 हटेगी, और दूसरी तरफ वो कह रहे हैं सिखों को डैमेज करने के लिए भी कड़ा पगड़ी गुरुद्वारा की बात कर रहे हैं। वही बात पन्नू बोल रहा है, वही बात अब पाकिस्तान के मंत्री बोल रहे हैं। फर्क कहां रह गया? राहुल गांधी, पन्नू और पाकिस्तान, ये पूरा ट्रायंगल आपके सामने आ गया। जबकि मोदी जी तीसरी बार टर्म आई है, बहुत ताकतें हैं जो एकदम इंडिया, ये आप देख रहे हैं जी, आज मंडपम में आए हुए हैं, आप देख रहे हैं फूड प्रोसेसिंग, और अमेरिका प्राइम मिनिस्टर जा रहे हैं वहां पे। आपने ट्रंप, उनकी बात सुनी, क्या शब्द थे उनके प्राइम मिनिस्टर के बारे में, और दुनिया आज देश की तरफ देख रही है। तो ये घबराहट खड़गे साहब और जिस परिवार को वो सुरक्षित करना चाहते हैं, वो तो एक्सपोज हो रहा है।
Pakistan and National Conference Congress are on the same page when it comes to restoration of Article 370 and 35A. This is not the first time that the Congress, National Conference are singing the tunes of Pakistan. Be it on surgical strike, be it on Pulwama, be it on Balakot, be it on 2611, giving clean chit to Pakistan or echoing their point of view has been the standard operating procedure. In fact, Rahul Gandhi was the first one to utter statements in sync with Pakistan's statements on Article 370 and was therefore quoted in their dossier which was submitted to the United Nations as well.
ख्वाजा आसिफ हमीद ने जिस प्रकार से कहा है, और इससे कांग्रेस और नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस दोनों एक्सपोज हुई। 35 से 370 हटाने की जो बात नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस और कांग्रेस करती है, तो उसमें पाकिस्तान ने उनका समर्थन किया है। ये सेम पेज पर है। ये साफ जाहिर होता है कहीं ना कहीं इनकी मिली भगत है। जो पाकिस्तान चाहता है उसी का एजेंडा ये यहाँ पर लागू करना चाहते हैं। इससे साफ जाहिर होता है पाकिस्तान और नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस कांग्रेस की मिली भगत है।
पाकिस्तान के रक्षा मंत्री खफास आसिफ द्वारा दिया गया बयान स्पष्ट करता है कि राहुल गांधी एवं फारूक अब्दुल्ला पाकिस्तान की भाषा बोल रहे हैं, पाकिस्तान के इशारों पर चल रहे हैं। पाकिस्तान के रक्षा मंत्री द्वारा ये स्पष्ट करना, कांग्रेस व नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस हम सभी एक पेज पर हैं, इससे स्पष्ट होता है कि अलगाववाद की भाषा, देश को तोड़ने की भाषा, आतंकवादियों को जेल से छोड़ने की बात, शंकराचार्य पर्वत व हरि पर्वत के नाम बदलने की बात, एससी, ओबीसी और एसटीओ का आरक्षण बदलने के जो आदेश हैं, डिक्टेशन है, वो पाकिस्तान से गांधी व अब्दुल्ला को मिल रही हैं। ये पाकिस्तान के इशारों पर नाच रहे हैं। पाकिस्तान धारा 370 व 35 से वापस लेने के एजेंडे को राहुल गांधी व फारूक अब्दुल्ला जम्मू कश्मीर में आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं।
Shifting focus from Pakistan to another neighbor, that's Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is set to witness its presidential elections in 2 days from now. Will Ranil Wickremesinghe survive those elections? What is the way ahead for Sri Lanka as far as their economy is concerned? And what about ties with India? Because they have been frosty too. In an exclusive interaction with Palki Sharma of First Post, Ranil Wickremesinghe opens up about the future of Sri Lanka, about what his plank is going to be as far as economic reforms in the country are concerned, and whether or not Sheikh Hasina, another neighbor of India, should continue to remain in India. Listen in to that exclusive excerpt.
2022, we had a conversation when Sri Lanka was on the brink of economic and social collapse, and that was a period of chaos, and that is when you took charge. When you look back, do you think you've been able to accomplish all that you set out to?
Yes. I wanted to have, I was going to establish stability, have a stable Sri Lanka, law and order being maintained, the democratic system to go ahead, and of course to put the economy back on track. I've done that. I think today morning, we finalized the last part of our negotiations regarding debt, sustainability and bankruptcy. After Sri Lanka was declared bankrupt in 2022, with the measures we have taken, I have come to an agreement with IMF, with the 18 creditor countries. 17 we came to earlier with the official creditors committee. Early today morning, late night yesterday, early today morning, we came to an agreement with the China Development Bank, and finally we've come to an agreement with the private bondholders, those who represent a block of the majority of the private bondholders. So the next stage will be to declare that Sri Lanka has debt sustainability, and we will be moved out of the bankruptcy stage. Now that's what I want to do in 2 years. I have done that.
Fantastic. And the experts who've been following your actions and your policy moves see the changes, that there is social stability and the economy is in much better shape than what it was 2 years ago. But your critics say that you used excess force to dismantle the protest sites, and even in the economic reforms that you brought in, people complain that the taxes are still too high, the VAT rates that were introduced earlier this year are high, electricity bills are going up. Do you think that maybe the bitter pill was too bitter?
I don't think the bitter pill was too bitter. We had to take a pill at some time, and someone had to take a decision. No one was willing to take that decision, and I didn't want it to be another Greece taking 10 years. We are coming out of it. We had to raise our own revenue. We could no longer be printing money or borrowing money. Then you have to fall back on what are the monies you can raise from the people. And at that time, we had to raise VAT. I know the difficulties people went through, but I was also confident the rupee will be strengthened. Rupee was strengthened, certainly. We've had more revenue. We've been able to increase the welfare benefits. We are now increasing the salary of government servants as well as allowances. We still have a gap, which I will in 2025 be able to bridge, so that people will feel their life is back to normal. But that will be within 3 years.
But they're going to vote on Saturday. Do you think that they will get the message that their life is improving?
They have got the message. I've given the message, and many of them have got it, that this is a process, and we'll finish it in 3 years. They have also got the message that those who are trying to help them, but those who are not willing to help them in 2022 and ran away. That is the major issue. Can you trust those who ran away?
On that note, slipping into a quick break here on this edition of Nation at 5, but news and updates continue on CNN News 18. Do stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. You're watching Nation at 5 and we have some more breaking news that's coming in. This is a CNN News 18 exclusive scoop that we have for you. As far as India's fight against terror is concerned, the FATF has now come out and given a thumbs up to India's decisions, going on to say that India is facing a threat from terror groups like the Al-Qaeda as well, but India has done a good job as far as streamlining finances and technical compliance across the FATF is concerned. Siddhant, my colleague, now joining us, getting us more details. Siddhant, as far as terror funding goes, as far as anti-terror crackdown goes, India has been steadfast in its operations. That's something that the FATF seems to have acknowledged as well?
Well, that's right. Year after year, FATF is acknowledging the steps that the government of India has taken to tackle the illicit finance, money laundering, etc., etc. And in fact, India has again been appreciated for doing the good job and streamlining the finances. India is a part of FATF and perhaps is a reputed member of FATF because the norms that have been set by FATF, the recommendations, etc., has taken a significant steps to implement. India has taken a significant steps to implement measures to tackle illicit finance. It is critical that country continues to improve its system as its economy and financial system continues to grow. In particularly ensuring that the money laundering and terror financing trials are completed and offenders are subject to appropriate sanctions and taking a risk-based and educated approach with no-profit organization. So the kind of work the ED is doing, NIA is doing, going after the terror groups, breaking their backbones, frisking their properties, and also the trials are completed on time. Offenders are subject to appropriate sanctions is the reason that FATF is acknowledging the effort that India is giving. Despite India being the world's fifth largest economy, India's main money laundering, the report also says that India's main money laundering risks originate from illegal activities within the countries. These risks are cyber fraud, corruption, drug trafficking. But despite all that, India has managed to streamline the finances and curb the illicit money that these routes generate in India. And India pursues money laundering related to fraud and forgery in line with predicted crime risk to large extent. But less so with so many offences such as human trafficking, drug trafficking. The country needs to address the backlog of money laundering cases pending conclusion of court process. So this point has also been mentioned in the report.
Right, Siddhant, thank you so much for getting us the latest on that front. Shifting focus now to more breaking news that's coming in. There seems to be attempts that are being made to ensure that there are train derailments across the country. Another bid like that has now been averted. This time, this is near Rudrapur city in Uttarakhand is what we're given to understand. The loco pilot reported to Rudrapur city's station master that he found a 6-meter long iron pole that was kept on the track, the visuals of which are on your screens. This happened between Bilaspur Road and Rudrapur city is what we're now learning. Akash, my colleague, joining us, getting us more details. Yes, Akash.
So
Poonam, it is yet another incident where we are learning about this deliberate attempt, possibly, to derail the train, because it seems like someone intentionally placed the particular pole or the particular rod sort of thing. We have been told by the Indian Railways that how, the pilot of the particular train reported that he found this particular pole, which we have been in fact flashing on our screen, that, there was a 6-meter long pole. And, he saw that particular pole, emergency brakes were applied, train was stopped, and he, himself removed that particular pole, and no untoward incident happened. But, as far as these incidents are concerned, so we have seen a series of incidents where there are attempts that something is placed on a track, and the intention, though, investigation is happening in number of cases, but, it is suspected that there are deliberate attempts to derail the trains. And in fact, we have been reporting that how several sort of incidents have been happening throughout Indian Railways. This is yet another incident where we are learning about the FIR that has been lodged, and in fact, investigation will happen in the same case.
It was the alertness of the loco pilot, like in the recent case as well, Akash, that a major tragedy was averted. We've had the central government, the Union Home Minister, the Union Railways Minister all sound an alarm that there is going to be a wider investigation that takes place in this.
Right. It can be a part of larger conspiracy, because as far as Home Minister Amit Shah is concerned, so he in fact mentioned that how, several sort of instructions have been passed to the ground forces, to the investigating agencies. We have seen that how in Rajasthan and in Uttar Pradesh several incidents happened where, in fact, the UP-ATS was investigating the particular case. And, it is happening for quite some time now. We have reported that how incidents have been happening in the Indian Railways. Railways say that this can be a possible, in fact, a deliberate attempt where they want to defame the Indian Railways. In fact, Rail Minister Ashwini Vaishnav categorically mentioned that there are attempts on social media, and not just on social media, it is quite evident with the kind of actions too, that how people have been placing these objects on track. And there cannot be any different motive, because when you are placing any object on track, Poonam, so it is going to affect the train that is going to pass from that particular track. And that is the reason why there are suspicions where, in fact, railway and the officials say that they want to go deeper in this particular conspiracy, if any, and investigating agencies are in fact investigating the matter.
Right, Akash, thank you so much for getting us the latest on that front. On that note, slipping into a quick break here on This Edition, but news and updates continue on CNN News 18. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. You're watching Nation at 5 and the controversy is peaking in Andhra Pradesh. This is over the Sri Venkateswara temple in Tirupati. The TDP government has now accused its predecessors, the YSRCP regime, to have compromised the sanctity of the temple. There's test reports that the TDP has now come out and given as proof to accuse the YSRCP government of using animal fat of beef tallow and fish oil in making the laddus that are served as prasad in the Sri Venkateswara temple. The YSRCP, of course, has come out and rubbished all those allegations, even going on to dare the TDP to take an oath on the deity. But the TDP has now responded that we have proof. There are documents to go on to prove that the YSRCP did compromise the sanctity of the temple and of the deity. Listen in to the political war words.
Yesterday evening, our Chief Minister, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, in a meeting with the MLAs of Telugudesam Party in Amaravati, in that meeting, Mr. Babu had explicitly, straightforward, stated that the ghee supplied to Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanams was adulterated, and a lot of traces of animal fat, fish oil, beef tallow and lard. Lard is animal fat. And the traces of this were found.
Yesterday, our Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu has commented baseless allegations. If he has any proof, let him come and prove. Otherwise, I am ready to go and take oath before Lord Venkateswara. During that 5 years of our governance, nothing has happened like what he has commented.
It is most unfortunate. The feelings of Hindu community have been hurt very badly. The prasadam, a laddu which is going to be prepared and distributed to the pilgrims, is being totally adulterated. Entire Hindu community all over the world condemns the action which has been done by the earlier government, and I demand President government, Chandrababu government and the India government to see that the firm legal action should be taken on the officials and the concerned persons who have hurt the feelings of the Hindu community.
కడాన తిరుమల లడ్డు కూడా నాసి రకం. నాకైతే ఆశ్చర్యం వేస్తుంది. ఎన్ని కంప్లైంట్ చేసినా కడాన వెంకటేశ్వర స్వామి పవిత్రతను దెబ్బతీశారు. ఎన్నోసార్లు చెప్పాం. అక్కడ ఎంత దుర్మార్గంగా ప్రయత్నం చేశారంటే అంత దుర్మార్గంగా ప్రవర్తించారు. కడాన అన్న దానంలో క్వాలిటీ ఆఫ్ ఫుడ్ లేకుండా చేశారు. దేవుని దగ్గర పెట్టే ప్రసాదం అపవిత్రం చేసే విధంగా ఓసారి బాధేస్తుంది. నాసి రకమైన ఇంగ్రీడియంట్సే కాకుండా ఎనిమల్ ఫ్యాట్ కూడా వాడారని, ఏది గీకు బదులు. ఈరోజు స్వచ్ఛమైన గీ తెమన్నాం, ప్రక్షాళన చేయమన్నాం, నాణ్యత పెరిగింది, ఇంకా కూడా నాణ్యత పెంచుతాం. అల్టిమేట్గా వెంకటేశ్వర స్వామి మన రాష్ట్రంలో ఉండడం మనందరి అదృష్టం. ప్రపంచం అంతా మన దగ్గరికి వచ్చే పరిస్థితికి వచ్చారు. అలాంటప్పుడు వెంకటేశ్వర స్వామి పవిత్రతను కాపాడుకోవాల్సిన బాధ్యత మనందరిపైన ఉంది. ఇది కూడా చేస్తామని చెప్పి కూడా నేను మీకు తెలియజేస్తున్నా.
Swastika joins us, getting us more details. Swastika, the YSRCP so far has been accusing the TDP of lying, but now there's a report, a lab report that has been put forth by the TDP. Is there any response to that by the YSRCP?
There has been no response from the YSRCP yet, despite giving a challenge to the TDP just a couple of hours before this report came to the fore, that if the TDP government fails to prove the allegations claimed by the Chief Minister, then they would file a defamation case. But there is no room for that, it so seems. Now that the National Dairy Development Report is out, YSRCP is yet to issue a stand, and perhaps they really need to come up with a concrete definition, considering that this damning report talks at length about the kind of horrible, as one would say, violations that took place in terms of the prasadam that was being given not just to the devotees but also to the god. I just want to quickly run our viewers through the report's findings. This report has been released by the TDP. This is the report they are quoting based on the report given by the National Dairy Development. It says that one of the ghee qualities, ghee products used by then YSRCP government had traces of beef tallow, which is melted concentrated beef. It also had dog meat, as leveled by the spokesperson of the TDP, Annam Venkatramana, who held a press conference a short while back. This ghee was also adulterated with fish oil, soya bean, all the kinds of things that are not supposed to be in pure ghee. In the dock is a company which is based out of Tamil Nadu. Their sample was taken for consideration by the National Dairy Development Board, after which on the 23rd of July exactly is when this report was published by the National Dairy Development Board, which clearly said that all kind of norms were violated. This raises questions not just on the batches of ghee produced laddus that were being distributed and consumed by so many devotees, and I'm talking about close to 65,000 devotees who visit Tirumala every single day, but also in the offering that's given to the deity. A lot of questions to be answered from the YSRCP side.
Absolutely. Do keep a track of that, Swastika. But for the moment, thank you so much for getting us the latest on that front. Shifting focus now to CNN News 18 exclusive report, and this is from the ISRO headquarters, which is gearing up for the next big mission. The cabinet yesterday gave approval for Chandrayaan-4. It is going to be a big boost for several other projects of ISRO as well. Remember, we created history by landing on the dark side of the moon with Chandrayaan-3, and with Chandrayaan-4, it's only upwards and onwards for the country as far as our space flight is concerned. My colleague Harish Upadhyay gets us this exclusive report from inside ISRO.
One of India's most ambitious space project is the Bharatiya Antariksh Station, India's space station, and this is the model that ISRO has displayed. This is something that has already been submitted to the government, the design model of this, and ISRO is waiting for approval. And by 2035, ISRO plans to put up this space station in low Earth orbit, and this will take place in multiple launches. This whole setup has to be put up in space after taking all these objects in multiple launches by ISRO. What this essentially will do is that this space station will be set up, and just like any other space station, including the International Space Station, this will have a docking system where Indian astronauts will be able to reach low Earth orbit in space and then enter the space station and spend multiple days there. In fact, there are newer technologies that ISRO plans to have in this space station. They are saying that this new technology would be on-orbit refueling, which means that there could be extended period of functioning of this space station. They are also saying that it will have a micro meteoroid protection system. That's a hazard that any space station or satellite has. They are saying it will have a protection system. It will also have space habitat design, radiation monitoring and protection, and robotic support elements.
That's all we could pack in for you in this edition of Nation at 5. Thank you so much for tuning in. But don't go anywhere, because after a quick break, we come up with Plain Speak. Akanksha Swaroop joins you with that.